Hi, guys. Welcome to another segment of Esteemable Acts Wednesdays with me, Francine. So last week, I focused on decluttering the physical space around you, whether it's your workspace, whether it's your home space, but it's the space where you live. It's that physical place where you reside. You know, your room, your bedroom, your bathroom, your kitchen, your office, whatever it is, but it's the physical space. Today, I want to focus on decluttering the mind. I am a believer that I choose to allow things to clutter up my brain. Now, some of you are probably cringing when I say choose. You're probably thinking to yourself, I don't choose to do that. Well, you know what? For me, until I become willing to acknowledge that I play a part, that I allow people, places, and things to live rent-free in my brain, until I become willing to acknowledge that, it's not going to change. It's kind of like that old adage, you can't change what you can't see. So until I'm willing to actually say, yes, I'm letting this happen, it's going to keep happening. So what are some of the things that we allow to take up space in our brain? Well, if you're like me, I've allowed people, I've allowed places, I've allowed things, I've allowed beliefs, I've allowed things that I have no control over to take up space in my brain. I mean, go figure, something I have no control over. A great example, this coming Sunday is my birthday. January 16th is my 69th birthday. Now, for those of you that really know me, you know that when I turned 60, I had a meltdown. I mean, I freaked out. 60 years old. I mean, I went crazy. Anybody who would listen to me, I took my violin and I was having a fit, because the idea of being 60 to me was like, you're over the hill. Life is over. You know, you're useless. And part of that has come from, living in a culture that really values youth. But I can't blame it on that culture, because at some point, I had to take responsibility for the power I was giving it. Of course, at some point, I had to shift that thinking. I had to shift that consciousness. And I became willing to look at what I could do about aging rather than what I couldn't do. Now, I do believe that there are things I can control and there are things I can't control. I can't control that I'm getting older. I absolutely can't. If I'm alive, I'm aging. However, there are things I can control. I can control how I take care of myself, how I dress, how I carry myself. I can control those things. I can control the stuff I put into my brain, the affirmations I'm using. Am I saying that I'm an old whatever? Or am I looking upon myself as someone who's vibrant, entering into this next chapter of my life? So once I started to change how I viewed turning 60, my 60s have been fabulous. And now as I get closer to 70, a day at a time, I pray I still hold on to that attitude. But it was about me shifting my consciousness, because I had no control over the fact that I was aging. That's just the reality. So one of the things that I've allowed to clutter my brain are things I have no control over. What about you? Something else I've allowed to clutter up my brain has been the idea of negative people. Now, I have spent more than a few moments giving the power to some person to live rent-free in my brain. More than a few moments. In fact, over the last couple of years, I've done it more than a few times. And so, again, acknowledging that I give the power to people, some people I don't even care for. I've given them the power to just sit in my brain and marinate and take up all this space. It's like, oh my God, makes me tired just thinking about it. What about you? Who are you giving the power to? What are you allowing to clutter up your brain? So I invite you to think about that for this week. And I'll tell you, one of the tools that I use to help me avoid that or get out of it when I'm in it is, again, thinking about what's my business and what's not my business. I like to think of it in terms of the serenity prayer. Don't get offended, but the serenity prayer is just a tool that I use. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So to me, the things I have no control over are God's business, like my age. The things I can do something about is pretty much everything else. I can control how I carry myself. I cannot control what other people do, but I can control whether I let them live in my brain. So, what about you? I invite you this week to think about decluttering. What can you let go of? Who can you let go of? What thoughts are you allowing to live in your brain that are just not serving you, that are wearing you down? Because the other thing about those negative thoughts and negative people, it's almost like an albatross around your neck. It's like they weigh you down. It's like having a brick on your shoulder. It just weighs you down. And it prevents you from really creating a space to be with people, to do things that you really want to do. So that's it for now. I'm Francine. This is Esteemable Acts Wednesdays with me. Have a great decluttering of the mind week. Bye-bye.